You know what I hate? I hate cops, police officers of the law, pigs. And I don't hate them for the reasons that a lot of people hate cops, like, man, some cops took my weed, or, you know, because of police brutality. Because I recognize that police brutality really is just a few bad apples. I know that not every cop is going to stick his nightstick up your ass the first chance he gets. I'm not talking about I hate abusive cops or I hate cops that are corrupt. I hate cops because I hate the laws that they uphold. Whenever you say that you hate cops, people start to give you this line like, oh yeah, well, you know, when your house gets broken into, let's see how much you hate cops then. Let's see how much you hate cops when there's a burglar in your house. You know what, if there's a burglar in my house, it's going to take the cops at least 5 to 10 minutes to get there. By that time, that burglar's gone and I'm probably dead on the floor riddled with bullet holes. Let me ask you this, in the course of my life, how many times are cops going to save me from burglars? How many times are cops going to track down my wife's murderer? Probably not even once. Chances are good that cops will not do one substantive good thing for me. If my car gets stolen, maybe I'll call the cops. And they've got a slim chance of recovering it. Probably not. They're probably just going to find it abandoned on a street corner a few weeks later. But what are the chances of me getting pulled over and getting a bullshit traffic ticket from a cop? Did you know that in the state of Ohio, a cop doesn't even have to have you clocked on his speedometer to pull you over? Yeah, that's right. In Ohio, they say that a cop can just use rule of thumb to decide if you're going too fast, and his word is law. What legal defense can you possibly mount against that? If you're going 60, but the cop says you were going 110, it's your word against his, and you're gonna lose, because he doesn't have to have any scientific evidence. Of course, that's just the state of Ohio, but a cop can take your stuff in any state. He can take your marijuana, for instance. Now, I don't even smoke marijuana, but if I did, I'd be pretty pissed off if I paid my good money that I worked hard for, and some cop pulled me over and took my stuff, and furthermore fined me or even took me to jail because of it. Your license can be suspended without your knowing. You could be driving along one day and the cop pulls you over, and the next thing you know, you're going to jail because you were driving with a suspended license. You didn't know your license was suspended, but the cops know, and if they know, then it's against the law. Ignorance is no excuse. And if you don't like some government policy, do you think the cops are going to take your side, or do you think they're going to take the side of the establishment? The police are not neutral. They're a personal army for the government of this country. So if you have something to say against the government, you've got the police force to contend with. We've seen it time and time again. It doesn't matter if you're one of these new Tea Party protesters and you think that your protests are peaceful. Well, you know what? Eventually your protests are going to be cracked down. They're going to be cracked down upon by the people in power. Just like the protests of the peace movement in the 2000s and the peace movement in the 1960s or the labor movements in the 1930s. The police have always been there. With their truncheons, with their shields, with their tear gas, with their rubber bullets, with their sometimes not so rubber bullets, to quell the protest of the people, to quell the right of the people peaceably to assemble. And I know that plenty of people will tell me, well, my cousin, or my uncle, or my father, or my sister, or my mother, they're a cop, and they're a great person. You know what? I have no doubt in my mind that there are plenty of police officers in this country who are nice people. They help their neighbors, they help their friends, they're nice, they're courteous, they're generous people. But they work on the behalf of a corrupt government, and as long as that is the case, I am against them. Just as I would be against a nice Nazi, and there were plenty of them. And I'm not saying that police are as bad as Nazis, at least not yet.